At this bar in Kingston, no one really cares about King Charles's coronation. He's the king of Jamaica too, but to a lot of people here, that makes no sense.
If I need to go to the UK right now, I need a visa. Things like that makes me look on the head of state and I'm asking, like, what is the purpose?
I think it's time for us to address it as a nation. We should move past the monarchy and become autonomous.
Jamaica is set to be the first domino of Charles's reign to fall, the country planning to ditch the monarchy, a reckoning for centuries of slavery under British rule. At Immaculate Conception, an all-girls high school in Kingston.
Are you guys going to watch the coronation?
No.
No.
I didn't even know that was happening.
These students want a head of state who looks like them.
Princes, princess, kings are from fairy tales, and fairy tales are like old, really old. And we're in the modern day where I can be on my laptop, my phone, etc. Why am I seeing a king?
Summer Lee, Tony Ann, Jade, and Dana are all old enough to vote in the referendum the government is planning on removing Charles as head of state by 2025.
We'd like to have our own Caribbean identity, and I feel like the presence of a monarchy really impedes that. It's like hanging over Jamaica, that kind of thing, like holding us back and keeping us from further progress.
Do you feel like this is kind of a moment of change, a turning point moment in Jamaica?
Definitely. I mean, from what we've been discussing, it kind of just frees us from the Eurocentric hold that is on us.
It is a turning point, but there's more to be done.
Yeah.
There's definitely more to be done, because I don't think just removing them can take away the years of slavery and the mental slavery from colonialism that came after.
The royal family was tied to the slave trade from the very beginning. The Royal African Company that forced people here operated under a royal charter from King Charles II. And many of the people brought here were branded, literally burned with the letters DY for the then Duke of York, who ran the company.
So the royal family and many persons in the British government, both past and present, have been deeply involved in gaining wealth from the atrocity which happened on these beaches.
Dave Goss, director of the Institute for Caribbean Studies at the University of the West Indies, is angry that there's never been a reckoning for any of it.
There are times when, like, my grandparents sang, "Rule Britannica, rule the wave." Today we no longer sing that.
Even when emancipation finally came, the enslaved got nothing. Instead, £20 million, nearly $30 billion today, was paid out to slave owners by the British government for their loss of human property.
What we really want is for someone to have the balls to apologize and say, "We are sorry."
Instead of an apology, all Jamaica got was this.
I want to express my profound sorrow. Slavery was abhorrent, and it should never have happened.
Last year's tour was meant to be a charm offensive, but with a colonial-tinged military parade and this disastrous photo op, it only spurred Jamaica's plans to move away.
What does it say to you that there just hasn't been an apology?
An apology alone is not enough. Some kind of reparation is needed, whether in terms of health care, education. So a program is needed to right that wrong, because that wrong is still out there.
A wrong that still permeates all aspects of Jamaican life, say scholars, tracing Jamaica's deeply entrenched poverty, stark class divides, lack of development, all back to slavery, to the suffering it inflicted, to the wealth it stole. That reality is fueling the government's fight for reparations. Jamaican lawmakers say the country is owed more than $10 billion.
We want to right that wrong.
Culture Minister Olivia Grange says the country will petition King Charles directly.
It's more than getting a commitment from them. We're not asking for a commitment. Neither are we asking for handouts. We're asking that the wrong that was done, that they should repair that damage. We're not going to stop until we get justice.
Do you feel like it will ever come?
It will take a time because it's a process, but it will come.
This is Kingston's sprawling Coronation Market. The site once a burial ground for enslaved people. Here, anger over the royals.
King Charles, Adam and the slave master. The head of the slave master. So we're not associated with him.
Mixes with anxiety over the future.
King Charles, yeah, he's okay with me. Jamaica now don't know what they're doing. We need some type of support system.
We're mobilizing groups island-wide.
To axe the monarchy, Jamaica will need to rewrite its constitution. Advocates like Opal Palmer Adisa and Robert Stevens say it's a chance to create a better country.
One of the weakest links in Jamaica now is that the average person doesn't feel empowered.
They're part of a group trying to empower people in the process, working to make sure as many voices as possible are heard.
How do we get the masses of people involved? How do we get that education so that they're properly informed and they can have input?
Some might look at Jamaica and think, well, whoever the head of state is a side issue versus these everyday challenges people face. What would you say to that?
Things like the level of crime in the country is a concern. Okay. How do we begin to address that? By looking at things in the Constitution that we can tweak. It's not just a simple thing of saying, let's ditch the king or the queen and let us move away from the monarchy.
For Jamar Clark and Kimberly Williams, Jamaica's move away is way overdue. Now they just hope the UK and the royals do something to atone.
Even if it's not monetary, there are many other ways we could explore working together as a nation to make Jamaica economically buoyant, because I don't think it's beyond us as a people to be a first world country.
That hope for the future as Jamaica gets ready to break with its past.
So, Ellen, I'm curious, you spoke there about a referendum. So is Jamaica cutting ties a done deal, or is there still some chance it won't happen?
Well, the culture minister, Adrian, made a point of talking to us about just how proud of a country Jamaica is. And think about its huge global cultural impact. Reggae, Rastafari, Usain Bolt, Bob Marley. So it's just become completely nonsensical to so many people on the island that it has this faraway king with so little in common with anyone or anything in Jamaica, and to who so many represents this legacy of brutal oppression. Now, we did speak to some Jamaicans who told us that they like the royals and they don't want to cut ties. But opinion polling shows that a growing majority of Jamaicans do, and so do both of the main political parties in Jamaica. So it really does feel like the royals' time is running out on the island. And when that happens, Jamaica would follow Barbados, which cut ties with the monarchy in 2021, and several other Caribbean countries, Adrian, are having this exact same conversation.
All right, Ellen Morrow, thank you.
You're welcome.